what did you farm for a while to get a fairly large amount of money trees?
Yeah, funny thing though, I actually don't really have a lot of money trees. I've never actually sit down and actually farmed money trees. I thought it would be fun to actually do it, but I kind of quit keeping my computer on for like the night because it has like lights and it makes noise and stuff when I'm trying to sleep because it's in my bedroom. But what I just did, I've written it in several like comments and said it several times, I think. I don't remember the last time I said it though. But a lot of people have been asking it. And usually what I do is I start out with a furniture layout. Like, let's say the only money guide. Or not the only money guide, but the updated one. Let's say I use that one. I sell furniture. And I just continue selling furniture. Let's say in this example I want money trees and money as quickly as possible. I do the normal layouts and I expand it a little bit on the way when I earn a little bit more money. And then I build the endgame layout. And I just continue selling furniture. And once you've opened the endgame layouts, I think it will take you about 24 hours of grinding. And you're going to have earned 2 money trees per furniture item, which is 32 money trees.
For some odd reason with the shelter, it keeps dropping kind of randomly. Like I have perfect roofing. I don't have anything really slacked. Perfect decoration as I followed every footsteps of yours, and my shelter is slacking. And I'm just not really sure how to fix that.
Is that the endgame layout?
Yeah, that would be the in-game layout with the five water fountains on the bottom and second level.
Okay. So I guess you've also built the edge pieces around in that case. We can introduce... What did you say?
I just said okay.
Okay, you just said okay, yeah. So we can start by introducing like how shelter works. Shelter is generally like the feeling your customer has, like, oh, is there a wall around me? Is there ceilings? Like, if you walk into a store, you expect there to be a ceiling, right? If you're walking into a store just without a ceiling, you're going to stand there like, what is going on right there?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and that's the thing I kind of dislike about Retail Tycoon 2. I think they should, or before I say like the explanation, but okay. So any tile you place outside the store, and no matter where it is, if a customer is walking on that tile, the game is going to realize it, like the game is programmed, right? So the program is going to realize, oh, there's one customer walking right there, and there could randomly be a whole lot of customers who's walking on specific tiles outside at one specific time, just as the shelter is going to like update, and it can drop like crazy. And the solution for that is generally to just add a ceiling above the tiles that are outdoors as well. Because if you add the tiles above the outdoor tiles, that's why if you've seen like the only money guide, the layout I had there, I had like a huge glass roof above everything. Because by having a glass roof above everything in the store, I technically should have added that one to the end game as well. But by having a glass roof above everything, your customers will always have a ceiling above, thinking they're always walking inside a store, which means they can never complain about shelter. I think Retail Tycoon 2 should add like specific tiles that they can use outdoors without actually what can I say, negatively affect the shelter rating. But to solve your problem, you just need to add some ceiling above it. If it looks good or if it looks bad, it's up to you. But I can go check on the endgame layout right now, because I do believe that the endgame layout actually has really... You might just have been unlucky, or how often does it happen?
I think it's only happened like twice now, and I think it only happened twice within like 17 hours.
Twice within 17 hours, yeah, so that's kind of your answer. But if you look at the endgame layout, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, oops, I didn't pause the video. So you can't see this, but I'm showing it on the video at least. I can share screen so you can see. Share screen. If you go to like the screen sharing right now, you can see that the endgame layout has an opening around all around here, right? And you also have this over here and over here. Now, I don't think anybody will actually walk on these tiles, especially not those, because there's actually something there. But those tiles over here, your customers will walk on, because they're walking out of the tram station. So perhaps a lot of customers has taken the tram. They are walking right here, just as the game updates the shelter, and boom, your shelter rating goes down. But immediately, a few seconds after, they'll be walking right here, and your shelter will go back up again.
Because they get underneath that lip of that building. Okay.
Also, the building, that's one thing, but if I'm not mistaken, I do also think that parking lots don't count as bad shelter. Because if they would, then you would like have to like build ceiling above all parking lots, but that's not like, what can I say? So I think asphalt in general doesn't negatively affect, no, I don't think it's asphalt. It's generally just that there's something here, since you have built something here, and it like applies to all those tiles. I don't think shelter rating applies right here. But let's just see, how does it look from like the third floor? It's 2 out, so generally it's the tram station. It's just a tram station area, I think. So that's probably the reason to why your shelter has gone down. You could fix it by just adding some ceiling above here, add some, I don't know.
A question I've seen a lot of people struggling with is the managers. I've seen a lot of people struggling with the managers because people, because I have mine set at 200% and I don't have an issue with it. But I've seen a lot of people go like that they don't make money off their managers because of their managers pulling all of their money and that they're just not making any money. What would you do to fix that situation?
I've actually been working on a manager guide recently, not finished yet. I've been trying to I'm trying to get it finished as soon as possible, but I can basically say like the simple way, or answer your question nonetheless. The point is, when your manager, or like the time where most people like feel confused is immediately as they hire the manager, right? Because once you open the store, most of the time you have just stocked the shelves and let them be, right? But what people don't take into consideration is that when they hire a manager, especially when setting it on like 200%, if it's on 100%, it's not a problem. But standard, I think manager is standard on 125, right? That 25% is 25% more of the items stocked in your store. So if you've stocked items for a value of 100,000 in your store, your manager is going to buy 25,000 of more items. And if it's on 200%, it's going to be 100,000 more value in items. So
okay, that makes sense.
If you build like a huge mall, selling everything from jewelry, cars, perhaps you're even selling military vehicles for that sake, anything. The manager is going, as long as you haven't bought like backup items, your manager is going to fill up those backup items. Meaning that you will technically lose money, in theory, just that they're stored in the storage, right? So one way of solving it is to, well, don't set the manager at 200%. Or the second one is to just know or realize, or you just need to know that the manager will buy a little bit more items than what you already have in your store. So at least when you open up a new store or set the manager to like 200%, know that you will need a little bit extra money so you don't go in depth. And if you then go in depth, it's not a problem, because the depth is not because your money is loose or your store is losing money. It's just because the manager is trying to buy more items.
So your manager's trying to make sure you're not gonna you're not gonna go without
Yeah,
the
so
item.
let's say the easy way. The manager doesn't care whether you have $1 million or if you have $0. If the manager sees $400 on that dollar thing up here, and it has a task of buying small electronics, it will buy them. That's it. And yes, perhaps your worker payments just came in a few seconds after the manager bought that PC right there, or that laptop, right? Well then, it's going to look like you're in debt, because your workers also cost money, right?
Yeah.
And if you're very unlucky, and there has gone like a long series of time where your store hasn't sold anything, weirdly enough, or you perhaps have a lot of workers, you might actually be in several $1,000s debt. But as I have said in a lot of videos, it's important to have very few workers, because they also cost money to keep up. So think of it like this. All these workers I have right here, every minute that those workers cost me one small electronic. So in theory, if I leave the store running for 1 hour, my workers has cost me 60 small electronics. That's a lot. So in like summary, just know that the manager never loses you money, it just buys backup items. So I think that like solves most people's problem with the manager, because else than that, the manager is kind of just a worker buying your items, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of people I seen one guy that had joined my game the other day, and he liked it so much that he tried making it with the in-game layout with $200,000.
Like, to be honest, if I'm gonna be like really honest, I do honestly think I wish that more people would actually find my videos, because I personally think that at least a lot of my videos compared to a lot of other YouTubers' videos are more thoroughly researched and stuff. So I at least try to make the best I can, and I'm not like the kind of guy who likes people who say the new best layout and then he's selling toys. Like, honestly, man, just stop with like saying the best. You're making people doing. It's just nah. I don't like clickbait.
Yeah, there was one video I won't mention who, but he's like, this starter layout make one or like 500K in 1 hour, and it was like a 5x5 little building that he was selling video games through, and I was just like, okay, that's nice. And then I was like, okay, cool, I'll give it a try. I just started it out and I tried it, and I made like 50K in 1 hour.
I tried this one. This one was trash. This one, the Dark Dev video.
Wait, is that by Dark Dev?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's who it was.
Yeah, I tried this one. When I made like the updated money guide, I had to make sure that his video wasn't, or his layout wasn't better than mine. So I tested this one out. I also tested a lot of others. Yeah, this one, for example, 250K per hour. He's selling toys. You're not earning 250K per hour. And also,
you'll make like 50K an hour max.
Oh, that's a lot. That's too much. Oh yeah, 50K normal earnings, not net earnings. That's true. They don't say net earnings. I say here, I say become a millionaire in just hours, because I can't say like 60K store because everyone else is saying it. But like here, if you see like this clip, I earned. Oh no, this was with another layout. Yeah, so this layout earned 60K net worth per hour, and that's a lot for a beginner store. Same with this one. I think this one also was the best at that time. I don't know if anyone actually made any better, because I also saw like a lot of people make other layouts very similar, but they just made it worse.
Yeah, the one right there, that 203,837 one. I don't know if it's just my luck, but I couldn't get that one to work.
He's selling small furniture, so and one large furniture. technically. So yeah, by looking at this picture, I can see that, okay, the layout is going to earn him, if I earn 60k, he's going to earn maybe 40k per hour, just like small electronics. And I also can see that he has a crush machine back there, probably going to make the earnings a little bit less. He doesn't have walls, he doesn't have ceiling. He has 4, 5, 6 parking lots, so that's a lot of parking lots, so that's going to boost it a little bit. But generally, I don't think it's going to earn as much as the other layouts.
But what piece of furniture sells out the quickest? I don't know if that's a possible answer.
We can figure that one out. So we can go to settings and we can go to stats and we can scroll down right here and we can see what sells the most. Fußball? Wait, what? Is it foosball?
Wasn't that 309 right now?
Wait, why doesn't it say football? Yeah, okay. I guess they don't want to make like the discussion between soccer and football, I guess. So they make Fußball, which is basically German. Alright. Let's look here. Okay, so from these furniture, we can actually fit every furniture in this, like, that's satisfying. We can see that, in this scenario, Ottoman is sold more than nightstands and dressers. I don't think that does matter because it's just random, right, what they buy. So if you sell 1,000 more, I think it's going to be more balanced. So that's not the case. When it comes to normal furniture, yeah, small furniture and game tables sell about the same. They sell more naturally because they're cheaper. And you can see on the large furniture and the exercise equipment, it's about the same. A little bit more on large furniture, but yet again, it's the same thing. The more expensive, the fewer things you sell. But the great thing about selling large furniture and exercise equipment, let's say, is that you will earn more money, right? Because they are more expensive. So selling 2 small furniture, because in this case you sold twice the amount of small furniture than large, right? Or actually it's more. Wait, let's answer the question a lot more simple. It doesn't matter what you sell. You will sell it anyways. You will earn the same amount of money pretty much. The best way is generally to just sell the entire category. I've tested like single items at a time or like combined some of them, but from what I've figured from like the few tests I've done, selling everything at least within furniture is the best. But that's actually fun because when you move on to like electronics, small electronics is the best thing to sell alone, which is interesting. I don't think PC electronics will make it any worse, to be honest, because if you look at the value, it's kind of the same. But you don't get the same advantage which you have with small electronics early game, because you can use a delivery driver with pickup truck with small electronics because the unit size is so small. But immediately as you add the PC electronics, they're too large. But let's say video games. If you add video games to small electronics, would you earn more? Good question. The value of video games is kind of good, so I do think you would actually earn a little bit more. Maybe small electronics is better with video games. Perhaps also if you add PC peripherals. Maybe the items are too large again. No, not PC peripherals, you're going to struggle with delivery. Yeah. Well, in short, furniture is sold the best when you sell everything.
I've been trying to work on a not a furniture store,
electronics store?
Small electronics store. Yeah, for a while. Trying to make like a Best Buy, but that part's not the easy part.
Yeah, that's the problem with electronics as well. They are so expensive. Like a furniture, at least they take up one space, like large furniture and exercise equipment. And yeah, probably you need to sell a few small furniture, that's right, but they cost $180 per, right? But if you move on to the small electronics, you need 18 times 400, and that's what's like 8,000, something like that. And right, like 8,000 for It's not 8,000, 6,200. Wait, no. Forget about it. Forget the math. Alright. The point is, it costs a lot of money. And if you want to add like large electronics, PC electronics, you're going to struggle with money, man.
Yeah, that is very true.
So
I think that was actually the last question I had.
that's the last question you had, yeah. If you would earn money, sell foods. No, I'm just joking. Seems very affordable since they're cheap, but they don't earn yet. Yeah.
That is very true.
Oh, this is one thing worth mentioning. I don't know if it's too viable now, but it was very popular earlier on. You could see a lot of players selling toys, like a lot of toys. What they would do is they would buy a huge amount of toys. They would drive back and forth a couple of times with a semi-truck and then stock the toys, leave a restocker restocking it naturally, and just head on AFK. And they would claim they would earn a lot of money per hour. And yes, that's right. But they kind of forget that they then need to go back and buy more toys, because since they don't have a manager buying them all the time, they don't calculate the part where they actually buy the toys. So the ones doing that strategy, well, there you have the answer. Toys aren't that good to sell.